The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business, and we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail. Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this evening, my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford, and joining us from his manor and his hotel, Mr. Barry Bannan. Good evening, boys. How are you, mate?
I'm good, lads. Good to be back. How are you?
All good, mate. All good,
man. Good to get you back on, mate.
It's been a while. Good time to come back on, obviously, with the last few hours of the window and the Glasgow derby at the weekend coming up. So I'm looking forward to the show tonight.
Yeah, just as he mentions there, Ryan, the small matter of the Glasgow derby. But I think we'll leave that to last day because it's no of that importance, I would say. But since we were in the Squirrel Bar the other day, mate, it has been a busy week for Celtic, let I just say the least. And as the manager alluded to earlier on, mate, it's been rather hectic for us this week.
Aye, with the looks at it, I think Trusty's just signed there, Celtic put something up there, so with the looks at it, I think Trusty's just signed while we're live, so which is a good start, obviously, getting a defender in. But it's been a hectic week, obviously, be getting players in, so it's no ideal getting it at this stage of the window, but I think we just need to be positive and go from who we sign.
They've actually done it in a GIF with Stone Cold Steve Austin saying, "Trusty the process," and he's looking at his watch.
So I'm assuming that's him just about to be announced, which is good. We were live on air, so obviously it's no ideal doing all your business end of the window, JP, but the positive thing is we're back to manager. These obviously seem to be his signings, because let's be fair, if it was a board signing, then we wouldn't be spending the money we're spending, and I doubt we'd be spending some of the players we're getting, because they're no guys that I like to think guys at that kind of level would know about. So all in all, it's positive, mate, that we're getting players in. Ideally, it would have been a lot quicker, but that is what it is, mate, and obviously the derby at the weekend, we'll look forward to that as well. But good to get Baz on as well, and hope everybody else as well.
Yeah, we'll come to some comments, guys. Our partner of the podcast, Mr. John Mullaney, says, "Good evening, lads." Chris Murray's joining us also. Francis Lester. We've got John Shirley as well. And we have Thomas Hand. Norrie boy Kearney. He's still in Lanzarote. I think he's immigrated and he's not telling us. We've got James Kennedy as well. He says, "Good evening, JP, Ryan and Barry." Good evening to you all. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching on from the house or the pub or wherever you may be in this fine Friday evening. But it's just as Ryan says here, and obviously I've just put up the confirmation there. Celtic have just put out that Austin Trusty has made the move to Celtic, mate. So it's good to get that in a centre back cover that we need, because obviously Bielka's away, Kobayashi's away, and we still don't know at this stage. There has been talk today of Mike Nawrocki also leaving the building. So realistically, you're leaving Stephen Welsh as your only cover to Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers. So quite good to get that deal done and dusted.
Definitely, I think it was something we spoke about. We spoke about it for a while now, needing a centre half in the door. I think that's probably been the case since the back end of last season, when we realised that Bielka and Nawrocki weren't going to be playing under Brendan. So I think since the back end of last season, Celtic have probably needed another centre half to come in and put a bit of pressure on Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers. So I think it's a position that we definitely needed to bring somebody in. And obviously, Liam being left-footed will add to the balance on that side of the park. We've tried Nawrocki, and on that side, when he's right-footed and no naturally left-sided, you can see a bit of difference now with Liam Scales being left-footed and playing there.
Yeah.
It adds a big difference to your defence and to your attack. It speeds it up a bit with a left footer being on that side rather than a right footer. So I think it will be more cover for Liam Scales and try to push Scales. I don't think at the minute he'll come in and start straight away, because I think Liam Scales has done really well this season with Carter-Vickers. So I think he'll have to wait his turn. But like you said, it's always good when a team has competition. I think Scales probably not found it comfortable, but he's probably been getting a wee bit comfortable knowing that he's one of the first names in the team sheet at the minute. So that'll push him on and help him and improve him as well with this boy coming in, and hopefully it can be a good signing for Celtic.
Yeah, 100%. Ryan, obviously, just alluding to the fact that he's a left footer, again, brings an incredible balance to the side, mate. Will also, as Baz says, help to bring some competition to Liam Scales, which is, let's be faced, it's real needed, and it's been needed for a bit of time now, because again, they look as if they're the go-to guys there that are constantly playing. You know, Celtic play a lot of games. We have indeed made the announcement just before I bring you in that point, Ryan. We have signed Austin Trusty on a 5-year contract. So there he is, folks. He's in and he has signed. Ryan, good to get that deal done and dusted.
Aye, I think we were getting to the stage where a defender was just needed. Doesn't matter who it was, just get a defender in. But obviously, again, I know we watch the Premier League and stuff, but I don't know too much about the boy, so I can't really comment. I know he's experienced the Premier League, albeit it was kind of a goal shy and elite defence of Sheffield United. But again, I don't know how good the boy is. Obviously, he's played with America. He's obviously knows Carter-Vickers, I'm assuming, as well, so they could put up a good partnership. But again, this is on the manager, this one. I don't know much about him, so unless you watch Sheffield United or like Baz, he obviously knows that league, you don't really know the guy, because you don't really get to see him every week. So this is really just about trust the manager on this, and that's a wee bit of, again, it's a wee bit of heavy fee as well. So he will need to live up to that as well. I think that's the stage we're getting to these guys. As much as it's hard to criticise a player for their fee, it's no their fault who buys them and how much they get paid for. It's just a part of football, mate. As soon as somebody gets paid a bit of money, and especially at Celtic, you're going to be kind of, don't want to say criticised for everything, but you'll be more looked at for what you do and what you don't do. So he'll need to come in and make an impact right away, especially in Europe. That's what he's probably getting signed for. I don't think he's getting signed for Scotland. because as Baz says, Stephen Welsh, no Steve Welsh, Liam Scales has done okay, and he's probably the best. He's all right in Scotland, so he's getting signed probably to add to Carter Vickers and play with him,
Yeah.
I'd imagine. And as Baz says, and you said there, to push Scales, quite a good point as well. Baz said that's something I've not even thought about in terms of maybe Liam's maybe comfortable at the moment because he knows that Welsh isn't probably going to trouble him. He's seen Welsh sometimes doesn't get in the squad, so he knows he's probably going to play with Vickers. So that is maybe a good shout that Baz says there's IP that he's come in, and it might help Scales. Listen, I know I've gave Scales a wee bit of flack, maybe no good enough for Europe, and maybe some things I don't think he does right. This could help him. So who knows? This boy might come in and help him. Who knows? So for me, I can only praise the board for backing the manager on this one again, because again, it's not something I know too much about. So it's just about waiting and seeing, and hopefully makes an impact.
Yeah, just obviously Ryan touches on Baz there that obviously you would probably know more about. Austin Trusty, obviously playing down in that market, and what can you tell us about him, mate, from the onset of what you would know about him before, obviously now he's signed for Celtic?
As you can imagine, for looking at him, he's a good athlete, very quick, got good pace, strong, quite good in the air as he's quite tall. It'll be interesting to see him. Obviously, he played in the Premier League last year with Sheffield United. And like Ryan said, he did concede a lot of goals last season. But there's no doubt this year that he's playing with better players. Cameron Carter-Vickers and people like that at the side of him. And a team that's dominating in their league. Whereas last season, he was playing for a team who were struggling in that league, in the Premier League. So I think he'll do all right in Scotland. I've not seen a great deal of him, but from what I've heard from him, from people that have spoke to me about him, he will cruise the Scottish League. He's got all the attributes to cruise the Scottish League. So it doesn't always work out like that. But he's definitely got attributes, and I'm sure he'll do really well. But like you said, I think at the minute it's Liam Scales' jersey to lose. I know I said that is probably as well last year that we probably needed somebody in better. I don't know if this Austin Trusty is going to be better than Liam Scales, but I think Liam Scales has done enough to keep his jersey at the minute. I don't see Liam Scales coming out at the weekend. I think he'll start, but like I said, I think the boy will do really well. He's got good attributes. If you're strong and quick in the Scottish League at the back, it's half the battle. And then he's playing in a team who dominate possession, so I'm sure Brendan will get the best out of him that side of it as well, as in comfortable on the ball. He came from Arsenal, I think, academy, so I'd imagine he'll be quite good in the ball as well. But I think Brendan will obviously see his attributes there that he can go and work with. And let's see, I hopefully he does really, really well.
Baz, giving them a 5-year contract, does that show you that obviously the club have the full belief that they can develop this guy on and make him better?
To be honest, that's not a long contract in football anymore if you look at Chelsea's signings.
Yeah,
They're signing
that's very true.
9 and 10-year contracts, so...
Was it not what Alan Pardew signed a 9-year contract or something, or 10-year at Newcastle?
I think he signed a 6 or 7 at Newcastle.
But I also heard there was an underlying story as to why that happened. But then I don't even think he's seen 2 years of that out, did he?
No. Well, 5 years is it's a long contract. You don't get a 5-year contract if you're going to be a stopgap kind of thing. I think the boys obviously going to see him being here for a while. So that obviously fills the fans with confidence when you see a 5-year contract getting handed out. So he's got plenty of time to prove himself. But like I said, I think it's Liam Scales' jersey to lose at the minute. And like I said, it's good for the club. Once you've got competition, you see people coming in, you've got to be at the top of your game. And I think that's what Liam Scales will be thinking now, sitting at his house watching this happening. He'll be thinking he needs to go out and perform again on Sunday, being the first game. Because, like I said, I can't see him coming out the team yet. So it'll be his next bad performance, maybe he comes out, but he's performing pretty well this season. So overall for the club, I think it could be a good bit of business. I know 6 million's probably, it's a big fee for Celtic. We can't get away from that. It is a big fee for a centre half to sit on the bench. So look, he's obviously getting bought to play, because you can't shell £6 million out for somebody that's going to sit on your bench. We've had that previously with Bielka and Narowski, who have been bought for big money as well and no played. So hopefully this is one that we actually spend a bit of money on and he proves worth it.
And just as you says there, by Liam Scales, you can't see him coming out the team there. You get me Jimmy Calderwood above you there, sitting ready to smash his rosary beads right off the wall behind him. Well, let's ask a man there himself. Is he actually in his own house, Liam Scales, or is he in that magnificent cover that you seem to have, wee man?
He's in there with the bleach, getting ready for Sunday, mate. He's getting ready for Sunday with the domestos. So he's actually bored with one of the salmon jumpers, because he's cold. So he's all sorted in the cupboard, mate. He's all sorted for the.
Is that the one you were meant to send recorded delivery to Sam Smith?
You bet they get lost in the post, so I'm going it back, mate. I'm going it back. So, but I know I do think I agree with Baz in terms. I know I think the majority of Celtic fans have maybe kind of gave Liam whether people think it's unjust or it's justified criticism in terms of certain parts of his game. It is his jersey to lose, because the team are winning. I think Brendan said today they've only had 3 shots in goal out the league games.
Yeah, they've only conceded 3 shots in goal this season. Yeah,
that's showing you all the team for defence to attack and midfield, that their pressing is good, and what they're doing defensively is obviously far better than last season, because maybe it is all about settling down, or maybe just players have just got the message now. They might have just understood the way he wants to play, because it's night and day compared to the first 6 to 8 months of last season. So I do agree with Baz, as much as I have gave Liam a wee bit of flack. Actually, Merlin a wee bit, probably every single game, but
just about to say that there a wee bit. You're being nice there, mate. Come on.
I think it's his jersey to lose. Like Baz says, it's down to him to make a mistake or him to continue playing well because as much as the boys coming in for big money, you can drop somebody or no play somebody. It's obviously the manager's choice, but it'd be very harsh on somebody to get dropped when they're playing continue well. Just because you've signed somebody, it's not that new signing to do well. I.e. the same way the boy for Barcelona, the left back, as much as Greg Taylor might not be the best thing since sliced bread, i.e. help us in Europe, it's down to this boy to come in for Barcelona and prove his worth to the management training, and it's already come to Barcelona, and I do think he'll play. I do think eventually he will come in and play, because I don't feel he's coming to Barcelona's bench or playing every week with Levante to sit Celtic's bench, because he can sit on Barca's bench. I don't see why you would do that. You wouldn't come here in Scotland to just sit on the bench, especially when he's getting, if you listen to the reports, it's 25 grand a week we're paying him to come here. So that's a lot of money for somebody to sit on the bench and no play at Celtic. We can't really afford to pay that for somebody that's no good enough, or somebody that's not going to have some sort of game time. So it's a good point as well. I don't know what you feel about that, Baz, but it's a good point for maybe Greg to get a break as well. And he has played a lot of football. He's been playing just about every week, because obviously Burnley's not been here with football and Galway in the past and stuff, and they've not really played. So he's played a lot of football. The only break he really gets is probably sitting in the stand or the bench with Scotland. Doesn't really get much of a break, Baz. So I don't know if you think that's maybe something that could help the team as well with a bit of rotation.
Baz, before you come in on that, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second, right? I've got a question for your good friend. Nicky Loughlin has commented to us tonight, and he says, "What are you doing for the double header games on Sunday, Baz?"
He knows what I'm doing. He knows what I'm doing. He knows what I should be doing, but he knows what I'm doing. And I'll leave it there.
You're a bad man, Nicky. You're a bad man.
Babysitting.
You're a bad man, Nicky. I'd imagine Nicky's off a Christmas card list right now.
I think so, mate. I don't think Nicky will get Wonder Bar again. I think that's done.
I don't think Nicky will get a Wonder Bar again.
I'll be done, man. I'll be done.
He'll be sitting outside in the gutter with Slaney, won't he? Sitting in a puddle. Going like, how did you get here? What's happening? Aye, bye, sorry. Obviously, Brian had asked you about...
I think it's similar to the Liam Scales. Like we talked about people getting comfortable and know they're not going to come. He's one of the biggest ones, Greg Taylor, because like we said, we've actually not had somebody that can play at left back. I know Anthony Ralston's came on recently and played at left back, but he's had no competition whatsoever, Greg Taylor, for a while. I know Bernaby kind of shot his cell in the foot with doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. Ball and goalie, quite similar. So hopefully
he'd have been all right, but if he wasn't doing fag runs mid-season.
This is what I mean. Hopefully this Alex Valley keeps his cell at the papers and gives it a right good go instead of playing
keeps himself sober in the meantime.
So no, I think it'll be good for Greg Taylor. But he looks as if, I don't really know Greg Taylor that well, to be honest, but he looks as if he's the ultimate professional. You wouldn't look at him and say he looks as if he's comfortable, because every game he gives his all. So I don't think he doesn't really need a kick up the backside, but I think you said that he'll be another one that'll be watching, knowing that there's a guy coming in to try and get his shot. And it makes you go again. I've had it loads of times at Sheffield Wednesday where you buy centre mids and they might not even be to replace you. They might be just coming in to play next to you, but it's another centre mid and you see it as competition, so you've got to prove that you're better than that player as well. And you try to do that by training the best every day, and when you get your game in the weekend, you try to be the best there as well. So it's only good for the club when you bring people like this in. And touching on the thing that Ryan said about you can't really drop people because people are coming in price tags. You can, but I don't think you can at the minute with a Celtic team, because it would cause problems that we don't really necessarily need at the minute. Especially somebody as big in the changing room as Greg Taylor. I think he's got he's a leader in that team. So I think if he was dropped for the team on Sunday, I'd be really surprised. I can't see that happening. I think it'll be a case of sharing the games out or waiting till Greg maybe has a down patch in form or something like that. But I can't see. I know you think the boy Engels, when he signs, will start on Sunday. I can't see it. I think it's too late in the day now. They've not trained with the team today. The last training session will be tomorrow. It's a big risk, I think, to put people in who have had more than a couple of days. If there's injuries, then you throw them in. But I think a fully fit Celtic team for last weekend, I think that team starts.
Yeah, I can see your argument there, Baz. I really can, because I've said to the lads as well, there is that argument of it would be unfair to, like, say, Bernardo, who has actually had to wait a wee bit of time in order to get his place. He played that game last Sunday. Seamless transition, in my opinion. He didn't look as if, no disrespect to St Mirren, but our tempo, our flow, the way we played, it certainly didn't look like we missed Matt O'Reilly in that particular game. The longevity of Matt O'Reilly's absence will be time will tell with that. If Bernardo can then aspire to keep that going, by the way, unbelievable if he can, because Ryan, we've spoke about this before as well, mate. We think Bernardo's a top talent, and we think he's going to get better and better under Brendan. But I just don't see how you can buy a guy for 11 million and he's coming in and they asked him, obviously they said to Brendan today about his guys, are they going to be part of Sunday? And he went, yeah. He says, aye. He says, the guys that we're signing, obviously he knows who's coming. The guys that we're signing are all in a good place. They're all pretty fit and they've been playing. And the boy played in the 2-each draw last weekend against, who was it they were playing? Was it Frankfurt? Who did Augsburg play last weekend?
I watched a bit of it, I can't remember.
Was it Werder Bremen?
So it was, Baz. It was Werder Bremen. It was 2 each, wasn't it? 2 each. apparently, again, he played very well. To the point that their manager was interviewed and asked about the link of Celtic, and he says, no, we're playing Sunday and I expect him to be in my squad for that. And then 24 hours later, he's on a big bird on his way over to Glasgow to sign for Celtic, and they've couped 11 million from him. So I think if the lads, if Brendan's got full belief in the lad and they've went all out and backed him to get what seems to be his top target to replace Matt, then I don't know, Baz. I can see that other argument and all of, obviously you're in a prime position, mate, that you can actually still experience. You've got the experience of those positions and, you know, that the know-how of how that sets up. But surely, I mean, if he's not starting, mate, surely he's got to be in that squad.
They'll all be in the squad. He'll probably get
Right.
30 minutes as well. But what does that say to Paolo Bernardo, who's waited for Matt Riley to go?
Yeah. He has waited some time, and that's what I was saying there. You know, he's waited patiently and worked hard.
And he was good at the weekend as well. They won 3-0. I just can't see how you can change the team. I think maybe Kyogo will come in for Adamida, and then you've got the problem with probably letting, at the minute, it's probably going to be James Forrest that gets let down at the weekend in the front three. But to take anybody else out, you've got no reasoning behind it as a manager. I don't think. What do you say to these people? Are you going to drop? I've signed him for 11 million. So he's going to play all season then, if that's the case, because we've signed him for 11 million.
Yeah.
I just can't see how you can change the team for last Sunday. I think it'll be the same team. Engels will definitely come on. 100% he'll come on, because he's got the problem now. He's been called up for Belgium and he'll go away and miss training with Celtic for the next game, which is a bit of a stinker for us, because you could have bedded him in that international break. So he's been called up for his country, so you won't see him for 10 days after this. So I think he'll definitely get game time. He'll get on the park, but I can't see him starting. I think it'd be crazy to start him, because I think the morrow will be his first real training session with the team.
Yeah.
They won't do a great deal tomorrow in training, because they'll be getting ready for the game. It'll be tactics and a lot of walking through stuff. So I'd be very surprised. I know he's fully fit. He played last week. He's had a full pre-season. But just fully fit and then knowing what is needed for a new club.
Ryan, what's your take on the lad Ongles coming in and obviously coming right into the team?
I can the mere Baz explains it to you, you can kind of get that. Ideally, I'd love him to play. You've signed, go and show what you've got, go and like yourself to the fans. But at the same time, as much as I know they're knowing a great space now, name across the water, and you like to think we're going to have loads of confidence. You don't want to change too many players, because you still want to keep that continuity team. You might change one, like Baz says, you might play. Well, I personally think Kyogo, if he's fit, he's a shoe-in. I think he starts. Cause I know Adamida wasn't really fit last week. I didn't think he was that impressive, to be honest with you, but I think that was due to him not being fit. But I did say to you, JP, after the game, there's parts of, even though you're no fit, there's still bits of your game you can still do well, and he wasn't holding the ball up well, and I don't know if that's just him rusty, I don't know. But I'm wanting to give Adamida to after an international break, get fit, and then he will need to hit the ground running pretty quickly, because he has got this feeling now. Coming as a, Baz, you'll probably know more than us, but I think coming as a lone player, you can no take a back seat, but you can enjoy it a bit more, because you're no signed and it's still your club. You can obviously, he's a Celtic fan, but you're still putting all the effort in. But if you don't play well, it's not really that big a deal, because you get back to your club and you've got a contract and you're away. But when you sign for this money, I think because of the fee, Baz, is that a big thing, do you think, in football? Obviously, you played, the players are probably for big money, and yourself, you're for money as well. Does that really play in players' seed, or as soon as you go in the park, is it just like you're playing with your mates and you just play football?
I don't really know about the fee kind of thing, because I don't really know, but I think there is a massive difference from being a loan. I've been out in loan, and it's merely a selfish thing that you take on when you're out on loan. It's all about you doing well, and because, like you said, you're not actually contracted to that club, and at the end of the season, you're going back to your actual club. So when you're on loan, it's about yourself, and you want to play for yourself. Really, you don't really. Not that you don't care about the team. Obviously, you want to do well with the team. When you're doing well, you want your team to do well, and you end up becoming close mates with these boys that you've joined up with, like Adamida has. So, but I get what you're saying. If it does go tits up, then you're going back to your team anyway. So it's not the end of the world. Whereas he's signed now for big money, and this is it. The pressure's different. There's a different expectancy now on him as well after last season, because he was right off last season when he came to Celtic. Fans weren't happy. So he had that fire in the belly, but now the fans know what he's got. It's a different pressure for him. He needs to go and do it week in, week out now. Because we've seen what he can do. And if he falls below these standards in football, like whether it's right or wrong, if you fall below these standards and you've been bought for that much money, then you get the criticism it comes with.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I've always took it that when players are sold on for a good fee, and I don't think they take too much notice, and I don't think a lot of the times, for me, the fee isn't relevant. You know, I think it's more to do with just the player's mindset and how they go about their business with the team or the new team, or like Brian says here, if you're going to a new team, or if you've been a loan player at a club and then you come back, like Paddy Roberts has done before with Celtic as well. And I think it's, you know, for me, you're walking into a place you already know, you're more likely to be more comfortable. I think the problem I saw early doors with Adamida here is the fact that, from my take on it, it looks like he's lacking a wee bit of physicality work, and he needs to work on that. He just looks slightly behind us because we look a hell of a lot. The team, the way we're playing, the counter pressing, everything's totally night and day from what it was in the first 6 months of last season, lads. So we, as a team, look fitter than what we did last season. We look a hell of a lot sharper. Maybe because players, like I say, they've took some time now to buy into Rodgers' his way of doing things, and players like Nicholas Kuhn now starting to show their worth. Maeda's arguably a better player. Scales has developed as well with the amount of games that he's played. I would be worried if he hadn't. You know, playing the amount of games he played last season up till now, he's still playing. So again, that's another plus for Liam Scales, the fact that he's always fit. You know, he's always available, he's always ready to go. That's why he was a constant in the team last season, and that's why he get played more than others, because of his fitness level, because he was good to go. But for me, I don't think the fee is relevant. I think when you make a contribution to a team, it's about how you contribute. Are you a good teammate? Are you able to fit in with the group? Do you have the proper makeup to go in with that group and be a vital part? And for me, Adamida showed already, you know, he's got the big moments in him. He can handle pressure. His first proper game, man. He came off the bench and set up Nicholas Kuhn's goal and won each draw at Aberdeen. And even after the game, Celtic fans were saying, get to you know where. You know, they weren't happy because we drew that game. And those two were the kind of main focus that day. He then went on and went Easter Road and he scored 2 penalties, one being a very, very crucial point of the game. And then after that came the game at Fir Park, and he slightly started to become a hero because he was pulling Celtic out of holes. And then he goes to Ibrox, he scores against them at Ibrox, and then he scores against them in the cup final, which is probably going to be one of the most iconic moments in Celtic's history for the next 20, 25 years. You know, people will be talking about that moment and how that felt, being a Celtic fan watching that goal happening. So the pressure of playing for Celtic, you need to be able to handle that, and you need to be able to handle yourself and look after yourself in a certain way. And it's not for everybody. And that's why we've seen many come here and they've not been able to do it. But for me, Ryan, I don't have any immediate worries about Ida, mate. I think, like he says, after the international break, and listen, I wouldn't put it past him to score his first goal back for us again on Sunday. Because that's where, for me, he's a big game player, I think. And I think he's got that mindset to follow. And I think, playing against St Mirren is one thing, but these players have got it in them to raise the bar again for the derby games, right? So again, mate, I don't think we've got any reason to have any worries about Adam either.
No, I wouldn't say worries, but I see. I'm different for you. I think the fee's a bit relevant, because I think for the money we've signed him for, he's got to contribute in terms of probably European. He'll probably play maybe away games away from home, to hold the ball up and use his physicality and his power and his pace. But if he doesn't get, if he doesn't get at least 15 goals next season, JP, I know he got 9 last season, but if he doesn't get 15, 18 goals, 20 goals next year, fans will be like, well, we paid a lot of money for you. As a striker, you're judged on, realistically, you're judged on goals. I know we're aim across the water, slaughter dressers, right? But he scores goals. I know he might miss 5 starters a game, but he still scores goals, and that's your job as a striker. At the end of the day, it's to score goals. So, you can contribute and help the team, but if you're not scoring goals, you're not really paying back. One, you're that big fee, and two, you're not really doing your job. You're meant to score goals. So, but it all depends as well. If you're coming off the bench all the time, it's hard to do that, because to play 15, 20 minutes to score a goal, the game might be done when you're on. You might not get a chance. It's because a lot of Celtic, sometimes when the game's done, they just keep the ball. Even 2-3-0, we just keep the ball. We don't always go gung-ho. And I don't know if that's something you think, Baz, that we should be trying to look to do more, because I think sometimes, even 2 or 3 games this season, we've went up early doors at half time and we've come out the second half, maybe get the odd goal, but it's been a wee bit, it's not been the same. I know that's natural when you're winning, but I'd like you to just go gung-ho and just go and win games 4, 5 and 6, because don't let teams get away with it. Just go. You're the best team in Scotland, you've got the best players. Just go and take them to task and just enjoy yourself. But I know it's natural, but do you think that's something we need to try and do a bit more? Go and get the third and the fourth and try and be a bit more kind of urgent to go and get more goals? Aye.
I think the Ida thing's interesting, because obviously the fee, I think the fee comes into it more in the fans' eyes. The fee, but between teammates and players and managers, the fee doesn't really matter. I think the perfect example of fees and no scoring as many, Kai Havertz is a perfect example for me. He's played everywhere he's went. He played at Chelsea every week under whatever manager was there. Goes to Arsenal. He's Arsenal's main man week in, week out. They've got Jesus on the bench. Kai Havertz doesn't get you 20 goals a season, but I bet you if you ask every single player that's played with him at Chelsea and Arsenal, is he good? They'd say unbelievable for the team. So I think if we're going off, like a number 9, Firmino was a number 9 at Liverpool. The winger scored more goals than him because he was selfish, and the work that he was doing was getting Salah and Mane the goals. I don't think it's the goals necessarily for it, but you do need performances. And it's absolutely mental that but it's crazy that we're actually speaking about Adam Ida at the minute, because he never played well at St Johnstone. It's his first game since he's signed for that. It's his first game since he's been back signing. I thought he was lively. I thought he made great runs. I just think when he got in, a wee bit more composure. But like you said, he's probably been. People are forgetting that he's been trying to sign for Celtic for 6, 7, 8 weeks, and it's not been happening. The boy's probably dying to come to Celtic. Probably no sleep him. He's not had a good 5, 6 weeks. Then he doesn't travel, and he's getting in trouble with Norwich. So his head's been up everywhere the whole pre-season. Once he settles down a bit after this international break, then I think you'll see the Adam Ida that you've seen last season. And you can tell he never left the group chat. which was massive. The boys must love him, because as soon as a player leaves a club, they leave the group chat straight away. They boys have kept him in it, knowing that there's a good chance we're going to bring him back. So he's probably said he'll be back when he left last year. He's probably said, "Don't worry, I'll be back." The boys have kept him in the group chat. That says a lot for what the boys in that changing room actually think of him. So I'm not too worried. I know that it is a big fee for somebody that might not start every week, but we've talked about on here last year. We need to improve. We need to sign players who are going to be ready for Champions League football. We've now got two strikers who arguably can play in the Champions League, not a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas going back 2 seasons ago, if Kyogo was injured, you were knackered. You had Giakoumakis, I know, who done well, but I think you need 2 or 3 strikers. I know this is why, as fans, this is what I say, fans on about the fee more than players, and fans will automatically look at the fee and say he's got to play, but not necessarily, because this is a different Celtic to the Celtic of 2 or 3 years ago. We just went and spent 11 million tonight in a midfielder, so things are obviously advancing now. So there might be fees that we pay and we think, but we're not the old Celtic, but it's a new Celtic now. We've got loads of money. The board have done brilliant with their finances, and we're in a healthy position now. And they're starting to spend 11s and 8s and 6 millions, 9 millions. That's not happened for a while at Celtic. It's probably never happened, really, apart from Hudson Edward in my time, maybe. I know Chris Sutton was 6.5 years and years ago, but this looks as if it's a new Celtic, and a Celtic that we'll just have to get used to, that there could be 6, 7, 8 million players sitting on the bench.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Just as that's what I was thinking as well, you know, and obviously that, as Brendan says as well, you're talking about the Adamida fee. It's not relevant to Brendan, because Brendan feels that he's paid that fee back to Celtic already for what he's put in last season. And I've always said to Ryan, like, when you're bringing in quality, you expect quality to deliver moments like Ida was able to last season, you know. And for me, I'm a great believer in, if Adam Ida's not with Celtic last season, I'm doubting whether Celtic go on and manage to achieve the double, just because of the form of the team. And, you know, he pulled us through a lot of the time. And good players will do that. You know, good players will get you. That's the difference. That's the difference between your kind of run-of-the-mill guys and squad players and everything else, to guys that can be difference makers. Guys that can, a split second. I remember watching Larson, and it was early doors, and it was before he started scoring hundreds of goals regularly. I'm not talking about when he gave a ball away to Chick Charnley, or when we played FC Tyrol in the UEFA Cup, and he scored an OG that night as well at Celtic Park, but we also managed to score 6 goals, and my dad's like, "Oh, what have we signed here, man?" I remember my dad going, "I hope Van Jansen's got a receipt for this guy."
He's got Larson's tap on for that Chick Charnley goal.
I was actually going to say that there. It was either that, and he'd been doing in Nick. He was only a wee boy then. He's probably doing his paper round when Larson had that jersey on.
Nah, probably was. That's probably still been with Barbies at that time, mate, to be fair.
I'd imagine he was doing it at Barrafield training ground, nicking it out of George Cadet's bag. He's not saying it, Baz. He's not denying that.
No, I'm saying nothing, mate.
But when you've got players that can make the difference, I think, as you said, Baz, you talk about the boys, he's no left group chats and stuff. He must be massive round about the boys. I thought any time he came on as a sub, see, even at Celtic Park, the crowd went mental, because, and the team changed as well. I remember we couldn't break St Mirren in one of the games because the big boy Gogic was winning everything. And he was kind of pushing Kyogo out the way, and Kyogo just couldn't get into that game. And as soon as Ida came on, the fear went into St Mirren's back four, because they knew, oh no, we're going because Gogic had put that much into the game. He was tiring by that point. And when he'd have come on, he'd have just started throwing him out. And a couple of times, Gogic was nearly eating the grass off a run. And when you get that stature and that presence, for me, as I say, people are going to say, no, this is a new season, JP. We need to go again. We need to do it again. But I think he's already proven he's got that in his game. So I wouldn't worry about either of the lads. I think either will be fine. I do think he's lacking a wee bit in terms of, like you says, Baz, he missed the flight. He missed bits of training, bits of games. He might have been slightly behind in Norwich's pre-season. I know he played in one or two of their fixtures, but he missed good bits of it as well. His disciplinary procedure as well, and obviously they kept him away for the team for, I think it was a week, the manager says as well. So, like I say, when you miss stuff, then you know what it's like yourself, Baz, when you don't kick a ball for a couple of weeks, mate, in pre-season, you try and get back to it, you feel, I need to get my second one here. It doesn't matter how fit you are. When you stop doing something over a period of time, it takes its toll on you, and you need to get back to it and train regularly and train hard. So, but in terms of either, I wouldn't worry. I can see your points on the lad Anglais. You know, you don't think he's going to start. Do you think there's a lot of expectations, Baz, from the Celtic fans? Hold on a wee minute here. We've paid £11 million for this guy. We expect him to start this game.
Nah. Obviously, as a fan, I'm still a fan. Growing up as a wee boy before I started playing football myself, you automatically, as soon as your club signs a new player, you want him in the team. That's us. That's what fans do. Yeah. You want him in. You want to see him. You're excited. You get fed up with the players that you've been going and watching that season. You get bored of them. You want a new player to come in to have somebody else to support and be your favourite player. So probably for that side of it. But I think when you take a step back and actually realise, one, how big the game is on Sunday. It's not just an ordinary league game. You're playing against your rivals. So, and it's the biggest derby, arguably, in the world football. So you need to be ready for that. You might get lucky. I know we've had players previously who we've threw in for debuts and they've come out the other end smelling the roses, but it can also go the other way, and that can ruin careers as well. If you get thrown in your debut and you don't perform, you've got it all day after that. You've got a lot of making up to do. So I just think you've got to go for your tried and trusted on Sunday, and if we're in the lead and we're comfortable, I'm sure you'll see these new boys coming on. But I don't think the fans will be too angry. They'll know that the boys probably trained for a day. It's too much of a risk. We might be changing our mind Monday. We might be sitting here and going, what about that? Engels and Trusty, unbelievable debuts. But who knows? But I can't see it. If we were struggling and we were on the back of a few bad results, then maybe. Or if it was another league game against somebody else at Parkhead, then maybe they would get thrown in. But I don't think this close to an Old Firm game that I can't see him doing it.
Headline in tomorrow's paper. Sheffield Wednesday captain Barry Bannan says Engels has no chance of starting the derby.
Don't matter, he'll have a hat-trick in the first 20 minutes.
Takes you off time. What was that you were saying, mate? Swiftly moving on. We need to kind of move on now. Also this week, Ryan, we had the small matter of the Champions League group draw, mate.
Yes. What's
your thought? And before I get your thoughts, actually, hold on. I'm going to actually, so everybody can see if any Celtic fan that's tuned in, and or any fans at all that have tuned in, and you still don't know who Celtic have got, I'm going to put it up for you so that you are well in the picture. So these are the clubs Celtic will face in the Champions League. So we've got a home game against Leipzig. We are away to Borussia Dortmund. We are at home against Club Brugge, away to Atalanta, home against Young Boys from Switzerland, away to Dynamo Zagreb. We have Slovan Bratislava at home, and we are away to Premiership team Aston Villa. Not in that order, by the way, because the calendar for it is out tomorrow. So, but I don't know, I'm unsure of the time of when it's out. But Ryan, what a draw that is, mate.
If you could hand-picked it, it would have been close to that. I know, but listen, we can't be foolish here. I said to you last night, I was on the phone to you, some of the players Dortmund have got still world-class players. So Dortmund are
Yeah.
I know they finished third or fourth or something like near that in that league last season. Still a top team. Going away to Dortmund will be very hard. If you go away there and get a point, you'll be really, really satisfied. Same with Atlanta, that'll be a hostile. Italy's always hostile. Atlanta, I think they've only got 750 away fans. There's a tiny wee corner. So
Yeah.
it will just basically feel like Celtic and no fans there. So that'll be hard. You'd like to think at home, I'd be looking to pick up at least 9 points at home. I know that might sound right, absolutely. I'm not saying I'm entitled. I know how hard and how ridiculous bad we can be in Europe and we have been in the past. Leipzig at home will be hard, right? But you could we've beaten before, so you could potentially get again. It all depends on the form of these teams as well, because Leipzig could be in a bad run of form, or they could be absolutely been amazing in the league. So that takes its toll as well on how they perform. Because look, when Dortmund played Liverpool Salata, they were very poor. They had Bellingham no playing, Haaland no playing, they're defensively. They were all over the place, and we've seen that in the games. So small things can impact these games, but the draw looks favourable. Sure, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it looks favourable because in the day, we're still kind of minnows in this format. We're not really a big team in Europe in terms of results and criteria and everything else. We're not really a good team. A lot of teams want to play us. Teams will Aston Villa will see that and go, oh, we're playing Celtic for Scotland. Same as Dortmund, we're playing Celtic. Brilliant, go to Celtic Park, nice atmosphere. So they'll be happy with getting us as well. Because the form in Europe has still been great. But it's a chance to potentially qualify or even get to the playoffs. I think if you win your home games, you've got a massive chance, JP. Even walk out with 10 points at home. Listen, it could come back and bite me and we could get nothing. But I think we need to start making Celtic Park a fortress. The away games, listen, if you get a point away from home, it's a massive bonus. Zagreb at home could be something as well, but these are hostile atmospheres when you go to Croatia and Italy. But
Yeah.
fair onset, it's a favourable draw. We could have got a lot worse, especially for the pot one teams. Aston Villa will be hard. By the way, nobody take Aston Villa for granted. Finished top four in the Premier League last year. They'll spend a lot of money. They've got one of England's best forwards and Ollie Watkins. I know they're not playing much at the Euros and stuff, but he's a goal scorer. You've got John McGinn there, still doing well. You've got other guys there. So don't be foolish. Aston Villa will be a very, very hard game. And we'll do well to beat them at Villa Park. So obviously Baz has played with him. He's got a good connection. He knows about Aston Villa as well. So all about Villa Park as well. So it'll be a hard draw, JP. Still, don't be foolish. Fans can't be foolish, but it's a chance to go and do something. The manager will be right up for it. The players we've signed, obviously spend a bit of money. So I'll probably go down to the overall, JP. There'll be no excuses for us. No excuses. This is a group that you could potentially, I'm not saying qualify for, but at least do very well and compete very well. None of this walk out with 3 points and 2 points, because that's not going to be ideal at all. So overall, it's favourable, but don't be foolish. Go into every game, try and enjoy it as we can, and if we can get victories at home, then that's the big thing for me, mate. Is get home victories. Make Celtic Park a fortress, because Celtic Park, teams come to Celtic Park now and win 2-0, like it's nobody's business. So that's what I want us to do. Home, get the home victories, and I think away from home, just kind of really take what you can.
Well, it's been a wee while for we beat 2-3 at Celtic Park. Atletico Madrid, we drew 2 each for them, and that night
No,
we
but
should have beaten them.
normally in the Champions League, we don't really do well at home recently. We've not really done well in terms of
No, I can get your point.
victories.
I get what you're meaning. But as obviously we were all sitting yesterday, just the sheer excitement, obviously being in that draw. This new format of the Champions League, it's a bit mental how it was done. The pot 1 team was picked out, and by even the first ball, I think it was Celtic were going to be playing that team that was drawn out first, which was Leipzig. So you knew right away it's one of Celtic's fixtures. So you excited about it, mate? And what's your thoughts on the draw?
I think, like Ryan said, it's a favourable draw on paper. But how many times have we sat here in the last 2-3 years saying we got a good chance, because we done it last year in the group stages in the old format. We thought we could get out that group, and we underperformed. Results wise, didn't go to plan. So, like Ryan said, you can't take anything for granted in Europe. We are seen as one of these. So you can't take anything for granted. It's going to be tough. But if you want to handpick teams from each pot, like Ryan said, it wouldn't have been far off with the teams that we've got drawn against. Atlanta, Dortmund were in the final last year. Atlanta won the Europa League, so
Yeah,
it's all right saying they're favourable draws. These teams are obviously good, otherwise they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So there's hard games in there, no doubt, but there is harder out there for us. So we've got lucky in one way, but you still need to go and perform at the highest level to get any sort of result, whether it's home or away. You can't have an half night in this competition, because these teams are just as good as us. So we need to definitely be at the top of our game to get these ones. But I think for watching Celtic and the way they've added in the window today, they'll be confident going into a lot of them games knowing that they can get results.
yeah. I'm really excited. I said that to you, Ryan, many a times. I was looking forward to the new format of the Champions League, how it's going to look. The 4 games we've got at home, even the Leipzig game, you're looking at saying. I think the good thing about them, lads, is the way I would look at it, and I don't know if obviously Celtic will be doing the same, but you've got to take the games in isolation, and you only get the one chance against the team, because it's not like you're getting a return fixture in order to try and put something right. So it's going to give teams like Celtic a very good chance of doing a bit of damage. Like Baz says there, Ryan, the quality that we've managed to get in the window, Kasper Schmeichel, I mean, we've broke our transfer record twice in this window. That's just, I mean, when have you ever seen Celtic doing that? 9.5 million for Adamida, and now we've spent 11 million quid on Arnie Engels. So it's phenomenal business. And like we says earlier, paying 6 million quid, signing Austin Trusty on a 5-year contract as well. Celtic obviously look as if, they mean business. They certainly have brought in a different calibre of player this window to not only come in, but come in and really affect the first team. I think Brendan touched on it earlier in the window, saying that if we were going to bring players in, we could have just stockpiled the squad, and we could have had about 10, 11 in by now. And they might have been all young guys that were going to take 6, 7 months to develop, and God knows where we'd have been down the line with guys, because we've still got guys like that for last season. Guys like Yang, Thiago Holm. These guys are still, they're still trying to find their way. I know they've not been loaned out or anything in this window yet. I can't see them being loaned out now, because there's not been any chat about that. Iwata, I was looking there a minute ago when you were chatting. It looks like he's down in the Midlands and he's passed his medical for Birmingham, so it looks like he's out the door. So when you're looking at the squad, Brian, I think Brendan's going to be confident that he has done the business to help him in these fixtures. And like we says, I know you can't take these fixtures lightly, you know, at that level, as Baz says. And I've always said, when Celtic play in the Champions League, they have to be at their pomp every single game in order to get any result. But I just feel, mate, these players, they give you a different tune, you know, and anything could be possible, mate, when you add quality to some of the quality, like Hatate, like Callum McGregor, like CCV, like Kyogo, like Maeda. When you put, and even Nicholas Kuhn now is starting to show that 3.5 million, you know, that might be a steal, actually. However, when you put that and you put that all together, you could win for it. A very interesting season, mate, especially in the Champions League.
We could, mate, aye. But I just really want fans to just don't be foolish, because it's still, like Paz says, the two of the teams got to finals, and one, I think Atlanta didn't win the Europa League. So they're good teams. They've got every right to come and smash us. Do you know what I mean? But the players they've got every right and every entitlement to go and do it. So it's down to us to. It's down to Brendan to tweak the way we're going to play, because I know we've got a philosophy and a style of play. We can't go to Dortmund and play full 3-3. It's not happening. Can't do it. Can't go to Atlanta. He can't, because we'll get destroyed. He can't do it. And I know these players are tuned into that formation and that way they're playing, but they need to adapt. Because in my opinion, good players can adapt to certain ways of playing. And if it means they need to go 4-4-2 or they need to go a 5, whatever they need to do.
Scalesy left wing.
Aye. Whatever they need to do, he's got to tweak
Fit
his
him in, because
tactics.
we've got Trusty now, so you can fit him in now.
He's got to tweak something. I'm not saying change and rip it up, but they've got to do something different abroad, because you cannot go to Dortmund or Atlanta and play full 3-3 and go gung-ho, because they'll just tear you apart. They'll tear you apart. And I know I'm not a manager.
Champions League finalists last season, lads.
That's what I mean, mate. So
yeah,
he's got to change. Obviously, they'll go and look at the teams and they'll try and pick a weakness and they'll try and see what they can do. But this is, like I said a few weeks ago, if you back the manager and give him the best chance if possible to go and help Celtic in Europe, and then we don't do well, then I'll go, right, what else can we do? I think for me now, there's really no excuses now. This is the third time in a wee while now we've been in group stages in a row, obviously, but a lot of experience in qualifiers and other stages of Europa League. We've got a bit of experience in Europe in terms of being in like, bits of Europe. So for me, there's no excuses, and we'll probably spend a lot more money in some of these teams as well, like Zagreb and young boys and stuff. We'll spend a bit of money compared to them as well. So I'm going to say there's no excuses now, JP, for this league. If we don't do really well or we don't compete really, really well, then there will be questions asked. Can he take us to this next level? Can he progress us? This is where Brendan will get judged. Brendan doesn't get judged on winning trebles and winning the Scottish League. He'll get judged for this. This is where he'll get judged now. So it's all on the team now to go and get results, and hopefully they can. I just don't want us to get battered, JP. I say it all the time. I just don't want us to go and get trounced. I just want us to try and compete, get results. And the big thing for, listen, I don't mind getting beat after Dortmund 3 or 3-1 or 4-1 if you've tried to take the game and you've tried. That's all we can do. We're a small club in terms of the European level, so all we can do is try. But listen, that's in the back burner now in terms of, obviously Sunday's the big thing, but I think overall it's just about, it's a home bit for me. It's the home games. I want us to win at Celtic Park, because if you win at Celtic Park, it gives you a massive boost to the away games, because if you get at least 2 or 3 wins at Celtic Park, it takes it into the away games. So, but I just enjoy the games, enjoy seeing some of the players you'll see with Dortmund, Atlanta and stuff in Leipzig, but don't be foolish. They're still quality players. They've earned the right to get here, so just don't be foolish, and just hopefully we can, the boys like Engels and guys like that can take us to that maybe next level.
Yeah, Well,
background impacts, don't they?
you're putting,
Top of the shoulder
you're
from
putting,
Carlton.
you get a tranny turned up too loud there, boys.
Terry, come on.
Aye, when you look at Baz, when you look at the angles coming in, you're expecting this guy to be. I know Brendan touched on it, and I thought it was brilliant, and it looks like that's what he's went and done. You can buy players for £1 million, £2 million, with a hope to selling them for over 10 million, but it might not work out. But if you show that wee bit of ambition, and you go and buy a younger guy, this lad's 20, but that younger guy is already at a different level with some of the young boys that's in our academy and some of the young boys that's even in their team. And you spend 10, £11 million on them, but you can then still sell something like that on for 35 or 40 million, when you're. So it looks like, for the outside, it looks like Celtic have kind of changed their thought process and the way they're going to do it. And certainly, I think if the Celtic fans are going to be well excited if this is a start of what's maybe to come the next couple of windows as we go, mate, and start to build, for down the line as well.
It's kind of like with greater risk comes greater gains. I think that's the situation. Like, you can go in 3 different. So if you do like stocks and shares, you can pick what risk you want to go in it, and I think that's where Celtic have changed here. They've went from small risk to medium gains to probably medium risk now to higher gains, because you said that boy was signed for 11 million, he's 20. And I was saying to my dad the other day, he must be good. My dad was like, what do you mean? I was like, he's got to be, because they're not going to sign somebody at 11 million if he's no good. He must have a bigger sell-on value as well. He's 20 years of age, so like they're not going to take a risk of buying somebody at 20 for 11 million and selling him for 5 million. He must be some player, because it's not in Celtic's model to spend that amount of money without thinking, what are we going to get back? Because that's the way whether we like it or no, we find ourselves as a selling club, and it's worked for us. But what the dividends are paying now for us, we're able to buy for bigger prices now and shop in a different market. But at the other end of that, the flip side of that, the bonus, you're going to be getting 35s and 40 millions now for these players, whereas you're buying Matt O'Reilly and getting 25. We're going to be looking at double that probably if this boy Engels comes and does what Matt O'Reilly's done, then we bought him for 11, you're going to sell him for 40 million. So it's a bigger risk, but at the same time, if they do pay off, at the other end, you're going to be getting bigger gains. And I think we're able to do that now because of how well the club's been run up until this point, where you can actually go and take an £11 million risk now, and it still not really affect you, because that's the situation that the club find themselves in, a healthy position at the minute. So instead of it being 4 and 5 million risks and them not paying off, we've jumped and we're at 10 and 9.5 and 11 millions. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You're not going to get players at 11 million who are going to come in and be instant hits, and you're going to get the odd bad decision where it doesn't work out for that player for whatever reason. But like I said, it's all within the means, and the club are obviously in a really, really strong position financially to be doing these sort of risks.
100%, mate. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Like I say, I've said to the lads numerous of times now, Ryan and Alan, I think the club are changing the way they do things. I think this is the start of maybe the way we do it, the way we profile players. Just because you're signing a young guy at 20, but you're paying a large fee for him, he might be at a different level from what we've got at the moment. Because a lot of Celtic fans are probably thinking, well, have we not got a young guy in our development squad, or have we not? But I think over the pre-season. The next go-to guy that we have in the development team's the lad Tully, in my opinion, because he seems to be the one that's been the constant throughout pre-season, and he stayed with the team. God, he came off the bench in the league game last week ahead of Lewis Palmer and Yang. So you've got to say that he must be the next one that Brendan must have in his head, that we're maybe trying to find a place for him to train with us every day and keep him away. I mean, he's only 17 as well, so for me that's remarkable to keep him with the senior squad and keep him in and around it. But those players are far and few between, so that's why Celtic are now shopping in a different market. But Baz, obviously moving on very quickly, Glasgow derby at the weekend, we entertain the mob across the water. What's your initial thoughts on the game, where we're at now, where they're at now, and going into Sunday?
I think it's we're in a completely different place to Rangers at the minute. We're flying high, performances improved loads since last season. We've obviously riding the wave now of signing new players for big money. So the confidence in that changing room and at this club at the minute's way above across the water. I know they got a good result last weekend. So they're talking that they played well and it could be changing. I don't see it. I think they played against a poor Ross County on the day. It's a different animal that they're running into this weekend. I think I speak to my cousin who's a season ticket holder at Ibrox, and we've been speaking all season. He thinks they've went backwards for last season, and I'd probably say it's the same for watching their games. I've watched the Champions League games, qualifiers. I've watched a few of the league games. I thought they were better last season than they were this year. And I think we're a lot better than we were last year. So I think the gap, listen, old firms are old firms, anything can happen, we know. We've seen it before. But as we said on here loads of times, if that Celtic team turns up and they turn up, that Celtic give it too much for them. Far too much for them, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's only going to be one winner if the both teams turn up, and I think it could be we threatened last season a few times towards the end when we ran into them to blow them out the water, and we never done it. But I think this time there's a real how do you say it? They're so fixated at the minute, that Celtic team, and the way they want to play and how they want to go about things.
They've got a ruthless streak in them, haven't they?
I don't see them. I know we're going freeze up and stop them and not getting any more, but I just don't see them letting up. The games are finished by half time, and you're bringing subs on 60 minutes. It kind of disrupts the flow a wee bit, but I think on Sunday, if Celtic turn up, it could be a comfortable. You never get a comfortable for them, but I think they could run away with the game in the end. Listen, they're the underdogs going into the game, and it's an old firm game. They're going to be up for it. The manager will have them up for it. I think they've signed a few of the day as well. Whether they start or not, I'm not too worried. I just think if that Celtic team, like we said, when we talked about the Champions League nights having to be at the top of your game, I think if they're anywhere near that level, they'll win comfortably.
Yeah, Ryan, we've spoken numerous times about this situation, and we find myself coming back to this all the time, and it's the same charade. You hear all the talk for the other side, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I mean, he started off last week at the Ross County game, after the game, saying that they were firing and they were going to come here and they were going to have a go at us. And he's retracted dramatically, because today I read part of the transcript earlier on, and today he's saying that we need to keep it tight. So he's even in the days that he's sniffing glue, and then the days that he's no sniffing glue, he's getting confused and he forgets. Like half the lies he tell aren't true, and the rest of it's hard to believe. So he forgets like the lie he's told before. It must be confusing as a manager for that side of the city as well, because he says one thing and he does another. Like last season, he said he was coming to Parkhead to have fun. You know, again, they don't have fans in the stadium, so I don't know how much fun he was potentially wanting to have. In a game that he lost, he's not won in the derby. According to him, there's no much between the teams, just all the scorelines. And the fact that we won 2 of the 3 trophies last season, his team only won 1. But that aside, mate, Celtic, as Baz says, in my opinion, are a totally different animal. And I think it's got a lot to do with the way we're playing, mate, in terms of our counter press and the speed of what we, effectively, you've only 3 shots against you so far in the season. Kasper Schmeichel, he's only conceded 1 goal, and that was in the cup so far, domestically. So you're looking and you're going, Celtic must be doing something right. And that's what Brendan says today in his presser. It's because of when you've got your players tuned in and they're all wired into the same thing, and they do it repetitively, and they're doing it in training, as Baz says, they're working so hard, but then they go into the field, Ryan, and they're able to execute it at that high tempo. There's just no way that they live with us, because they don't play with that setup. I know we've said numerous of times, Ryan, that they actually don't have an identity, which we're struggling to see one. But when you look at man for man, Ryan, I'm not sure how they can't play through us. So I'm not quite sure of, where do they hurt us?
I think the only way that they could do anything or try and spook us would be changing the formation. If it's gone 3-5-2 or whatever, maybe going with, I don't know. I'm not a manager, so I don't know how he goes about it, but he can't go the same formation, because we'll just play them in the rain game and we'll just take them apart, because he's got to listen. I'm not a manager, right? I've not got the expertise. Even Clement, listen, he's an experienced manager, right? He's no somebody that's just playing 5 aside and just put a team out, right? He's
He
obviously
doesn't talk like an experienced manager,
no, I
though,
know,
Ryan,
but
with some of the stuff he comes away with,
he's
mate.
obviously he's managed decent teams. He's won trophies. He's no an novice, right? He's got to click on eventually. Right, I can't play the same way here. I can't play with Tavernier at right back. I can't play with Lawrence in the middle, because I know Tabby's the captain, right, and I know he's good at set pieces and he's good going forward, but he's our biggest weakness in the back. At Celtic Park, all the goals are just about doing his side all the time in my head, right? Surely he was switch on. If you need to put Sterling at right back, who I think's actually probably the best player. I think the boy's decent. He's good. He's strong. He's physical. He can match my header with pace. Maybe no fully, but he'll match him to a degree. So if I'm maybe put Sterling at right back, maybe put Tavernier further forward. That's maybe, I don't know what else he would do, because if we turn up like Baz says and Beer says, if Celtic turn up to even 80%, they win the game. It's really a debate, because they're far better, they're well in tuned, they're high in confidence, they've just spent a lot of money. We're miles clear at every single capacity. Even the proper football fans for that side, who play football, they know football, they'll go into this game feeling the worst. They're going to go, they make sure the team sheet and go, right, here we go. The real fans know they're coming to Celtic Park against it. And maybe sometimes for us that might be a bad thing, because everybody's saying, well, but it's confidence, we're going to do this and do that. But like Baz says, it is a derby game. You've got to take it in isolation. You've got to do the basics right. You've got to start the game well. If we get an early goal, if we get an early goal in the first 5-10 minutes, it's curtains, because they'll crumble. They'll crumble. I've said it for day dot. As soon as we get the first goal and your big players like McGregor, Hatate, they turn up, game's done. It's one for me. It's one in the middle of the park. If McGregor gets the scruff of the neck, Hatate, game's done, because they're too good at players against their team. I just think, listen, But I'm all sticking my neck into it again. I think it'll be a comfortable game. I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. They might get the odd chance, but I think it'll be down to us making a mistake and no them playing through us, because I don't think they've got the manpower to play through us. The only thing they would do would be it might be trying to be physical. That's it.
Mhm.
Probably that's because I think we do like a wee tad of physicality. But again, I'm picking fault for no reason here, because we're playing so well. There's nothing really that's weakening right now. I know maybe Greg Taylor on scales overall Europe might be the weak part, right? But in Scotland, we're playing well, and we can't criticise how we're playing. We're scoring goals for fun. The crowd is going to be up and an amazing atmosphere. You get the first goal, JP, that crowd is going to be electric, and nobody's they're still doing it. So listen, I just hope we're not getting egg in our face in Monday morning, but I just think we are the feel good factor, the new signings, the manager, the way he speaks, even the day he's presser. I'd love to play for somebody like him. Honestly, I know I questioned some of his decisions last season, but overall as a manager, just the way he talks, and he just talks like an elite manager, and you run through a wall for that guy. Just the way he talks, and he's just brilliant, and he'll get him fired up, and I can only see one win. And I'd like to think on Monday morning we'll few hangovers and we'll be celebrating, because I just can't see them getting anything off us, mate.
Yeah, Baz, obviously yourself being a modern day pro captain and, you know, the way of doing it. Callum, in a similar role to you, what's the process with the skipper now? Is he in about all the lads, even the new boys that are coming in? Is he in about them straight away, letting them know exactly what they're walking into? With the first game, and obviously Sunday's the derby, and or do you think he just gives these boys a bit of time to get in the door and you know, see it for themselves, or is it a case of he gets in about them first and says, right, listen, this is what's expected of you here, and this is what we need to do? What do you think he's doing?
Nah, I think we're lucky, like I said, we've got the majority of that team that'll the team that's starting Sunday is probably, they've all played in it already and played in it quite a lot of times. The new boys might be into them a wee bit, but they'll know before they even sign the day who they're playing at the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Trustees and your Engels, they'll know. And as a player, you do your homework. They'll be on websites and YouTube and that, looking at videos. They probably watched it, to be fair. Games last season. Well, Austin Trusty would have definitely watched an Old Firm game. So he'll know what it's about. Obviously, as the captain, McGregor will be letting them know what, and other players as well will be speaking and telling them what happens in the city. You can't go out if we lose this game for a week and stuff like that. So they will know, the boys. But like I said, we're lucky that the majority of that team's been there and done it. So we don't need to really worry about changing anything today this week or changing your team talk and stuff like that. They've all been there and done it, the majority of them. Whereas on the other hand, they've got a lot of new players who are going to be witnessing it for the first time. And it's at Parkhead with none of their fans as well. So it's all the best kind of thing for them. It's going to be a cauldron and a really, really hard atmosphere to play in for them. So that adds to it as well. Celtic getting in as massive favourites. You have 60,000 Celtic fans there, they've got none. It's really, really hard. We had it this season when we went to Sunderland. I think they get 40 odd thousand. We had 1,000 or something. And they're up in the gods. You can't really hear them. It is a massive difference when you've not got your fans there. So it'll play a big part, and that's why you got to take your after that Celtic team as well, because they went and done the opposite last year and came away with a 3-3 draw in the end. And realistically, should have been at the site at half time.
And obviously, the first fixture over there, we won 1-0 with a Kyogo goal as well. So
we've got experience of going there and winning without our fans as well. So they're rightly favourites. But like you said, in Old Firm games, anything can happen. We could be down to 10 men after 5 minutes on Sunday, and the whole game changes. You can't predict the Derby game's results, but if everything goes to plan for both teams, then there's only one winner.
100%. And just on that, what's your team?
I would go same team as St Mirren. I would just bring Kyogo in for Adam Ida,
Mhm.
and I would start Nicholas Kuhn instead of James Forrest.
So, Kuhn and Maeda.
Kuhn, Maeda in the wings and Kyogo through the middle. Only reason I would go for Kuhn over James is on form at the minute. He's a goal and an assist every game, and we're at home. I think if it was away from home, maybe I would maybe change it a wee bit, and maybe I'd then think of bringing James Forrest in for his experience and maybe drop Kuhn. But I think the Sunday you got to just go for it. Their confidence is sky high, and just go for the jugular. I think that'll be the team. Would I be surprised if Engels and Trusty come in and play, or Valley at the left back? I would be surprised, but like we've seen it before. I think the Bayern Munich right back started in the Old Firm when we never thought he was going to play.
Edison Braithwaite, him.
Was it Braithwaite or was it the other? So we've
scored,
seen,
didn't he? Ibrox, didn't he?
No,
McGregor underneath him.
No,
that was the left back,
it wasn't
wasn't it?
him. That was Badar El Kaduri.
That was
Joseph Juranovic.
Juranovic started him out.
Juranovic played at left
he
back.
did.
He started right away. Johnson started in the fixture right away as
Alistair
well.
Johnson, aye.
Yep.
So
Which, by the way, us three were on that night, and I predicted that at the time.
there has been the odd curveball, but I bet you'd have had longer than a day's training before they played the game. I think they'd have probably been in for a week or maybe a bit more. I don't think they went after back of a day's training and straight into the game. But that's the beauty about Old Firm games. You can't predict it. Like you can't predict. You try to predict teams, and you'll end up miles off it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the team. If the boy Engels is playing, I'll be buzzing. I want to see him. Same way Trusty and Val at the left back. So I'm not too bothered. I think if they do play, this is the same outcome.
Yeah, Ryan, quickly, before we finish
I'll
up,
kind of keep it short, mate. Just be the same as Baz, probably. I think Kuhn will come in and Kyogo will come in. I actually would like to see one or two of the boys play, but you don't really want to unsettle the balance. The manager will decide himself if he feels, because who knows, the left back could be a superstar in training and he's going to play him. It may be like, I can't play you. You're absolutely phenomenal. So
he's certainly been in more time, definitely. I think he's had like 3 or 4 days training with the team now.
I think no matter what, I know they are hard to decide in terms of we can all decide teams and everything else. It's all about the players on the park, but I know when I go to the game myself for 90 minutes, I'm going to be agitated. I know I'm not going to be as confident as I'm sitting here now, but I just feel that if whoever plays, but even Bernardo, and I just feel we'll win the game, JP. I just can't see how we don't. I know you can.
You're like having skills, he's warming up. You're mad man.
I know. But no, I'm going to go same team as Baz, and I think win the game, mate. I just think we'll target their weekly season. I think Tavernier will maybe want to sit in the bus and no come out, because as soon as he's my head, he'll be he'll be getting some wipes for his backside. So I think overall I'm looking forward to it, mate. Same as Baz, looking forward to the new signings, hopefully getting that game as well, and just hopefully get the 3 points.
Yeah. Listen, I get your feelings, I really do. Although I do have my thoughts, and I'm going to do another Alistair Johnston moment here. Hopefully it can be quoted back to me after this if it's true. I'm going to go Casper Schmeichel. I'm going to go Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think Liam Scales will keep his place. I think Brendan's watching, obviously, so it's just to noise Ryan up there. I think Big Trusty might be on the bench. By the way, he's been given a number 6 jersey as well. So Trusty's new Celtic number 6. And I think it'll be Greg Taylor. I don't think he'll start with Vi. But I get your feeling, Ryan. If he's been, amazing, then I get that. I can understand. Only Brendan will know what's going on. I think the midfield will be Callum McGregor. I think it'll be Rio Hattati. Sorry, Paulo. I know if you're watching, pal. I know you've worked hard. I know you've done well, but I think the big boy, Arnie, on goals is coming into the team. I really do. I think he's going to start. And I think it'll be Kuhn, Maeda. And I think you're right, Baz. I think the wee man will come back in and hopefully he's not playing on his shoulder too much and he can notch a goal or two.
Yours
I'm
are getting worse, man.
I'm going to keep using. It's because obviously he's got a shoulder injury. I just thought that was relevant to apply that. But
At half time, you're singing "I'm Loving Angles" instead, weren't you?
I'm loving Angles instead. Aye, the Robbie Williams Angels song. Yes, get that tune in your head and now, boys, because we'll be singing that. But listen, this is where we are now as a squad. We're all excited because of the football we're playing, because of the way Celtic are going, and because of now we are looking to severely strengthen the squad. Champions League draw and all. I think, as you said, lads, the feel-good factor's all round about us now. I love the way Rodgers handled his presser today. It was amazing listening to him and really hearing him being that confident in his approach to it. I think everybody was all saying that, it would be a big telling point in Rodgers' presser today if he was going to look like a man that was frustrated or, but he sat there with real confidence and calmness, and they give the lads a due. They tried to get a lot out of him today, and he actually had a wee laugh at one of them. He said, "You just turned up, aye. You just arrived here. You missed some of that at the beginning." He says, "I'm not answering you. I'm not telling you. I'm not giving you names. I'm not putting things out." So, nice try, but he was confident, and he says it's, the guys that were coming in would all be in a good place, and he kind of alluded that they were going to play some part at the weekend. So what that looks like, as you said, Baz, we're all excited for that. But listen, I want to thank you, wee man, for coming on again. I know it's the eve before you've got another big game for you tomorrow, Baz. So I want to thank you for taking the time to sit in your hotel room and come on and talk to Looney 1 and Looney 2 of this podcast. And it's nice to see that, it's not just the waitresses at Hillsborough that do it, but it's nice to see the actual playing staff they mix well with the ordinary people. It's funny, but I'm telling you, it's going to live with me the rest of my days, honestly, and I'm going to keep quoting it because it was sensational. She actually chased after me, Baz. That was the thing about it, and Ryan was like, "What's she doing? What's she doing?" Ran right down the stairs. No, don't get down there. I was going to take a picture. This is how am I not to get down there? She's like, "That's where the ordinary people go." As if they had some sort of disease or, I was like, "What?" Okay, hang. Cheers. But barely laughing all the way back up the stairs, of course. But no, thanks, Baz, for taking the time with us tonight, mate.
All the best tomorrow,
and having a chat, and all the best for tomorrow, yeah.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed being on again, lads, and I'll see you next week.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. For anybody that's just tuned in for the first time, please like and subscribe to the podcast. There's a fantastic offer just now with our partner, MCM Framing Services. They are doing 20% off signed and framed memorabilia for you if you like and subscribe to the podcast. We are trying to reach a target of 2,000 subscribers before the festive season, and we're near enough. We're near enough there. I think we're sitting about 1,850 just now. So if you can, folks, please share it amongst the Celtic family. And if you like and subscribe, it's free to do it. You become a member of our family, the Celtic Unrestricted View. But for the time being, enjoy the rest of the transfer window. I know everybody's probably going to be sitting in the anxiety of who's getting unveiled next and who's signing for who. And Todd Cantwell's the new Blackburn number 8 apparently as well. I've just seen that there popping up my phone. I'm going to miss him because he always used to give us a good laugh up here. So it'll be good to see him becoming a good laugh down there for you, boys. when you got against him, tell him I was asking for him, mate, will you, when you see him? And just say if I've got a couple of videos from him, if he wants me to send them down to him, I can DM him anytime. So don't worry about that. And a couple of wee shush burgers as well if he needs them, if he's feeling a wee bit hungry. Hopefully the bird can get out of the cage.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
But everybody else that's in the chat, in the comments, thanks very much. Sorry I can't put everybody's comment up. I'd love to, but we just wouldn't be able to do a podcast if I was doing that. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. If you're going to a game, enjoy, be safe, and be loud. Let's support the team. Let's get behind them, and let's make a lot of noise. And give our new boys a really good evasion, and let them see what a party atmosphere really feels like, and give them an inkling of what they're in for when the Champions League comes. So, all in all, take care. Have a lovely weekend. Hail, hail, guys. Bye-bye.
Hail, hail.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.